Mini Jake, the tribe has spoken.
Fuck you, Kevin.
Aw, fuck you too, sweetie.
I'm JJ, one of the original Tribe of Nerds members. You can catch me on Marvel, Pokemon, and other gaming podcasts.
What up? It's Josh, resident superhero nerd, but I also dabble in the occasional super villain as well.
Some may know me as the Chaos Gremlin, but really I'm just Joe King.
Pikachu, use Volt Tackle! Good job, Pikachu!
On the Tribe of Nerds.
That dog will be there waiting for you.
It's a fucking cold line.
I wonder if Echo just knows something is going on with Michael.
He just seems to, but that's such a good line.
Yeah. Poor Michael.
Hey. This would be so heartwarming if we didn't know what we know.
Yeah, I know.
Yay, Michael's back.
Everybody's so excited, and he's such an asshole.
Oh, look how happy Jin is.
Are you kidding me?
Did someone put you up to this?
Vince is just trying to let him have a good time.
Stop it. You're just hating for no reason now.
Absolutely fucking not. Absolutely not. We are going to have a chat about that. Absolutely not.
He was supposed to fight back.
Rest in peace, Anna.
And thanks for killing Shannon.
Oh my god. Walt! Hey everybody, welcome back to the Tribe of Nerds, our Lost rewatch or recaps. Michael, Kristen, and I are here for Lost Season 2, Episode 22, 3 minutes. And an episode centered around what happened to Michael in 13 days that he was gone from our screens, and what led him to make the decision that he did a couple of episodes ago. So I'm excited to talk about this one. I always love when we get follow-up episodes that tell us what happened. So what are your guys' thoughts?
I mean,
I think like on-island stories are always really fun, and they've done it a few times now where it's like we go back and then we catch up to the present day. And I think they did a really good job of, even though we have every right to despise Michael, and I'm sure we do, like they did a good job to at least make you feel some sympathy for him. Like I still can't help but feel for him, like in those moments towards the end. It's a great performance from Harold Perrineau.
Yeah, I mean, this one's really hard because like you want to hate him so bad, but like it kind of takes you back to like remind you of why he's doing it, why he's done anything on the show is for his son. And so like we haven't seen or heard about Walt in quite some time, and we get a little like understanding because Walt's back. I mean, they doubled down. They didn't just like mention Walt, they like full on let him like hug his dad, which is like for any parent, like, oh, you just filled me with rage. Okay, got you. All right. I'll go do whatever you need me to do now.
Yeah, it was heartbreaking, I'll say that, just like to have his son again ripped away from him. So I feel that it's still difficult I get why he did it now, but I'm also just like, he still killed innocent people just to get like Henry out of, the hatch. And
that wasn't part of the deal. Like the others never once mentioned he had to kill anyone.
Right.
That's all him.
That's on him. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I guess he would have had to figure out some way to get it might have been doable. He didn't necessarily have to kill them at all. So, he didn't. I don't know. It would have been difficult to get him out anyway, but.
I mean, we're looking at this. I have a hard time siding with Michael here, but I'm going to because I'm a parent. When you're no, maybe I'll side with you later, but for now it's this one on the show. But when your time is of the essence and you need to get I thankfully my kids have never been kidnapped by crazy people, but I'm going Jake, you mentioned it's doable question mark, but he's I'm not time is of the essence. I don't have time to sit here and think of 50 plans that could all go wrong in the blink of an eye because somebody walks in. This is the quickest way. And is it a great way? No, definitely not. But I promise you I will do anything for my children. I mean, I hate to say that, but I would kill for my children. I feel that for Michael, I would do that because I love my kids that much. You know what I mean? As horrible as it is, I love my kids. You know what I mean? So hard to side with Michael, but also very understandable. So.
Yeah, it just is a sucky situation that Anna and Libby had to die, but
it's only Anna, it's only Libby.
I will say he only chose to kill. He made a decision he was going to kill Anna Lucia.
Yeah,
Libby was. He did not expect Libby to be there, and that was reflex. And maybe it's just kumbaya. But if he went back to camp and was just gathered them together, gathered Saeed, Jack, said, I found the other, and explained the situation. We let Henry go. We track him. We go there together. Maybe they could have they would have went with him. They would have went with him.
But you know, Saeed was not on the list that they wanted, so he can't tell Saeed.
But always tell Saeed.
I mean, I agree with you.
Well, because then they could have made a plan anyway. I agree with Michael on this one. Then Saeed can be okay, I won't go, but I'll help you guys formulate the plan of what we're gonna do. So it's actually possible for that to happen.
No, for sure. I just think he's not in the right state of mind here. I mean,
no, clearly not.
I mean, again, we have to think too, we're what are we 90, 60 something days, 60 to 90 days from this plane crash? He just got Walt back and then he loses him. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think we also have to keep that in mind that we're looking at this. This seems like forever in a day, but it really timeline wise has not been that long for all of the situation. So he's not in the right headspace at all.
No, they emotionally manipulated him too, but we'll get there. That was absolutely the others being absolutely deceitful and manipulative and just yeah,
for sure. I do have some fun facts though. Should we get to some fun facts before we get so first fun fact, lowest rated episode of season 2, this one, which is shocking to me because why? Because
we had fire and water.
Yeah, that episode is so much worse than this.
What?
Yeah, no, surprisingly it is.
People were so mad at Michael that they review bombed this episode. This was a good episode.
It is a good episode. I was really shocked to find that one out. Okay, this one's a really fun one. There's a major continuity error. Do you guys know what this continuity error is before I tell you?
Is it something to do with the guns or?
So the continuity error is when the hunting party, when Jack wakes up, there was nobody at the computer. Yet in this episode, Michael's at the computer when Jack is going to lock. Yeah.
I didn't even notice.
Yeah. I mean, it's been some time since that episode, so I'm sure that they were hoping people wouldn't notice, but that's definitely a major continuity error. Fun thing, the numbers. Okay, now listen, I'm going to get to a number. I wrote down the numbers that I heard, but then there was one on here that I'm like, okay, people that are looking for numbers, this is a stretch. Okay, so we know about the 4 names. That was obviously a very good one. Michael fired 4 rounds, which we talked about in the other one, but they do bring it up again because we saw it when he let Henry go. I don't know who's keeping count of these numbers, but this one is a major stretch. But Charlie mentions the vaccine every 9 days, which is 216 hours, which is double 108. I'm like, guys, come on. This is too much. But it made me laugh anyway.
No way that was deliberate.
no way that was deliberate, but sure. But it made me laugh nonetheless, so I had to tell you guys that one because I was like, okay, all right, stretch. But yeah, that's it. That's all I got. The other fun thing here, and I hate to do it, guys. I hate to bring up our least favorite person ever, Susan. But I know, I'm so sorry. Miss Clue brings up the exact same line of the lawyer. For somebody that wants their son back so badly, you don't seem to know much about him.
Yeah.
So we heard that in a drift. So I found that interesting that Miss Clue says the exact same line verbatim as the lawyer for Susan. Sorry, I hate to bring up bad Susan, but like I had to.
Yeah, it's really brought the mood down.
I know, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. So yeah, that's it. So,
nice.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get into the episode.
Yeah, the episode starts us off like 13 days ago. We get this like whole moment where we get back to, you know, Michael comes in. Hey, Walt, Walt. Hey, Locke, he's whispering. Locke's like, why are we whispering? He's like, oh, Jack's asleep. Makes sense, right? No, he's literally going to knock you unconscious to get these guns and take off. And I think that this is kind of like, we didn't really, you know what I mean? There was a lot to this that I like that this episode's going to go through every little detail so that we can get this backstory. But we do see him like knock Locke out. He goes to the computer. He's trying to, nothing's coming up because we do know from that orientation videos, you shouldn't be typing anything into this computer anyway. We noticed he's been doing this for quite some time, but he's trying to type, nothing's working, but it finally starts to work. So he messages and he's trying to get a hold of Walt. He does get a hold of Walt, and Walt tells him where to go. Go north. There's a rock that you should be on the lookout for. You'll know it when you see it. And then we have Jack waking up, which is our continuity error, but he is going into the armory to find Locke, where this is where Michael locks him in. And they take us back to our main, like, present day, and it's still this aftermath of everybody is dead now. Libby has died. We know that we left that last episode. And Michael has this plan. Again, read the room, Michael. You did this horrible deed, and I get that you have a one-track mind right now, but he starts to argue. He's like, let's go. We can go right now. All of us, we take off. We're going to go. And Hurley's not having it. Hurley is not having it. He yells at him. He's like, we haven't even buried them yet. Yeah. What are you doing? Shut up. Like, Michael, please, again, read the room. Like, not our Michael, but the other Michael. Read the room. It takes us back to where we left off Michael running away from the hatch. He is searching. And this is kind of a fun, like, tidbit because I really like this part. Like, not the whole part of Michael, like, in those 13 days, but I love that this specific because we know that we heard those gunshots in the hunting party. So it's interesting to tie this specific part up. But he comes across an other. I love that the other is just like randomly having a pee and just like, hey Michael, what's up? Thanks for joining me on my pee.
It's the most ordinary that we've seen the others. Just having a piss against a tree. Yeah, they're just regular people.
Regular people. They pee just like us. But he is like threatening him, like, you're gonna come with me, where's Walt? Like all these things. Well, bearded dude, aka Zeke, all the things are right behind him. And they have a struggle. This is where we heard those gunshots. But we hear him say, hurry up, tie him up. His friends are right behind us. So that's where we had this connection of them, like, hearing that, because remember, they were arguing in the woods there. And then they heard the gunshots, so they kind of ducked it. And then they were like, oh, we got to go grab Michael. Of course, Jack can't shut the hell up. And he ran off screaming after Michael. But that I'm going to leave it there for now. Jake, just talk to me about this opening, because I know that you love these episodes where you really get the answers to these questions you had that we were left unknown. So walk me through your feelings just on this opening.
Yeah, well, so it's fun to see John Locke get knocked out 2 episodes in a row. Like,
so nothing wrong in this episode. I don't know what's going on here.
Oh, we're gonna have some words for him later. Don't you worry.
Yeah, someone gets to smack him on his bald head like Kevin wants to do. Yeah, it's just very interesting because I was wondering how the gunshots turned out and like what ended up happening. Like we've been wondering that for 10 episodes. And so to then see him come across an other, it's like, oh, okay, this is where that probably came from. And it made sense watching for Michael to get taken to, like, I feel like we figured there was some sort of thing that the others did to Michael. Like that's what we've been theorizing. And so to kind of see that what happens there to lead to what we see later in the episode is pretty cool. And yeah, I think that's kind of my thoughts on this opening. It's a good opening to kick off the episode and start seeing what's going on.
I like that we get another badass Zeke moment. I like that he's just kind of this chubby guy, but he's a bit of a badass. He's not your stereotypical. You wouldn't look at him and think absolute badass, but look at him go. He does like the little, what do you call those things? Like the stones on the string, they like lassoes him.
Bula or some, I don't know. Bola?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And it's also the same thing that Ethan knocked out Jin with. When you could hear the whirring and then it hit Jin and he strangled Charlie up in the tree. So yeah, that was a nice little fun Zeke moment. I really love as well, like, once again, I'm sorry Kevin's gonna hate this, but like Jack, when Michael's like, we gotta go get guns, we gotta do this, and once again Jack's like, hoorah, let's go kill the others, and Hurley's like, we have 2 dead bodies here, can we bury our people before we go stomping off into the jungle? So I like that Hurley was the one to kind of bring everyone back down to earth a little bit. And yeah, seeing Hurley in so much pain is just so rough, and it's going to get worse. Poor Hurley.
Yeah, this episode is rough for him, and so I really felt for Hurley in this episode for sure.
Yeah, it's rough.
Is it this first little section, where we get the fallback of what we're going to find out at the end as well, where we see Michael burning the
I was just going to bring up that another main
cool.
is we see him like burning something. It's very, I mean, yes, they focus in on it, but it's supposed to be like kind of this, less important of a thing, but it turns out to be important. So like when you're watching it, you don't technically, which is why I didn't bring it up, because it's something that kind of like you look past, like, what is he burning? Like, who cares? Like, why are we focused in on this? Because you don't realize that it's important until later on. So you're just like, what is he burning? What are we, a pyromaniac? Like, what are you doing out here? Like, it's so random and weird. But come to find out, it's going to be very important, which we get to the end of the episode. But yeah, we do see Michael burning something. It's, like, again, one of those things to easily look over because you don't really understand why this is important until later on in the episode. But yes.
It's like a fun thing to catch on the rewatch of like, oh, it's the list.
Yeah, it's the list. It's the list. But yeah, first time watching it, that's why I wanted to kind of see where Jake was at. Because even Jake, like, totally skips over it because it's kind of so unimportant in that beginning, but it is so important because when we get to the end. But yeah, it's one of those things when you're watching it for the first time, it's an easy skip because you don't think it's important until the very end where you're like, oh, that's what he was burning. Like, it all kind of comes together. So it's a fun thing. Anything else on this section before we move on?
Nothing else really. I mean, it's just again, like that burning the list that we'll come to find out is a really interesting moment because I definitely was wondering that too. Like, what is he doing? Because what does this have to do with like covering up his tracks or anything? Like, we didn't know. So
yeah, no, for sure. We leave Michael here at the hatch as they go and take Anna Lucia and Libby off to be buried because thank you, Hurley, for getting us all back on track because we should be remembering that we just lost 2 people. You guys have like, but again, it's true, Michael, that you bring this up, that Jack is always has to do, like, he's always go. He's never in a moment. And so I do love that Hurley I don't love that Hurley had to be the one to get you guys in check, but there he is.
I love Jack, but he has a hero complex. I love him, but he absolutely does.
He does, for sure. But leaving Michael here, I also love that they left Michael here to clean up his own mess. Like, because they don't know, right? They don't know that. So, and he's just like left with all this blood everywhere, and he's like, I guess I'll clean this up because I did this. Like, it's just kind of the irony of it. But Echo comes in very quietly, very, very quietly, catches Michael off guard. Could you imagine if Michael was like, I can't believe I killed, you know what I mean? Like under his breath or something. Like, can you imagine that? But he even brings it up to Echo, like, didn't even hear you. And he's like, left my shoes outside. No big deal. It's fine. Like, what's happening? But we have this moment where Echo does come and starts helping him clean and tells him this kind of like story that makes you go, Echo, do you know something? Like,
Yeah.
do you know something that everybody else should know? But he does bring up a story about a kid, like, where it's basically saying the guilty would only feel guilty because they're worried about like who's going to see them in hell. You know what I mean? Like, and it's kind of Michael seeing his face obviously leads him to outside throwing up because he's wondering the same thing as all of us. Echo, wait, do you know something? He does not. Echo has no idea, but he's always very in tune with things. We see Jack approaching as Michael is throwing up and is just talking to him and saying, hey, just wanted to come back and check on you. You seemed a little off. And he brings it up again. Hey, we have to do this. This has to be the plan that we do. Has to be the people that already know. Also, it's kind of interesting that those are the people that knew. Like, it kind of worked out for him in that way. Like, because that's an easy story to believe. Like, the ones that already know, we can't have a bunch of people traipsing off into the jungle. I'm not willing to risk my son's life. Yada, it's so believable. Michael, you're an asshole, but I'm down to your story. This is a very smart story. We get them going back to the beach here. And Claire, listen, I'm still not over Claire being such a bitch, Charlie. And even he approaches her. Oh, stop it. She was a bitch. But he even approaches her. He's trying to be nice. He's got this vaccine for her. And right off the bat, she's like, what do you want, Charlie? Bitch, calm down. Like, he has done nothing to you. He was trying to baptize your baby. It was all
like 6 days. We talked about the time frame. It has not been a long time. You're such a hypocrite. You spoke at the beginning of this episode about what you would do for your kids. If you woke up and someone you were seeing had your child and was taking them out into the ocean, I'm sure 6 days later you wouldn't be like, oh, we're cool now. Claire has every right to be pissed at Charlie. I'm sorry. I like Charlie, but she has every right to be mad at him.
I mean, was it Charlie? Because I could forgive Charlie. I'm just kidding. I do understand that because we don't realize that he was trying to baptize. He really stole a baby and was in the ocean. I understand.
Yeah, it looked bad.
Oh yeah, it looks definitely bad. But on Charlie's side, come on, Charlie. Like, just explain the situation. But no, we are not there. We are not there. But yes, but he does bring her a vaccine, which is interesting because it's like, we don't know what a vaccine's for. We know that Rousseau has mentioned some things before. We know that, when maternity leave, she thought the baby was sick, but he takes the extra step to be like, here's the vaccine. If anybody should have this, it should be you with the baby. So, like, take this. Don't know what it's for, but it's going to last you a while, but here you go. And also, it's funny that he goes, I tried it out on myself. And she's like, is this the new drug of choice on the island here, Charlie?
You put some heroin in it?
Right. But he does bring up that he wanted to test it out to make sure that it was safe. He didn't have any side effects, all those things. We get to Michael returning to the beach, and Jin and Sun are so excited to see him. Like, Jin's little cute face, like his best friend's back. He was right up. He's like, are you okay? But they quickly realize that there's a very serious thing that has happened. There are 2 dead bodies that people are digging graves for. And I love this moment where Sun is like, what happened? Who is it? And he's like, it's Annalise and Libby. They were murdered by me. Like, he doesn't say that, but it's like the most random. Can you imagine being sitting there, like, telling them the story, knowing you're the one that caused it? It's so weird, and the irony of it. But it takes us back to our light 'em up moment. We go back to these days where it led us to that fire where everybody met up, and we have this. He kind of tells him this, like, he's telling him, shut up, like, you're going to come back with us. We're going to get you Walt. But Kate's now in the picture because Kate doesn't know how to listen and didn't stay back. So obviously they had taken her, but they can't let Kate know that they have Michael. So he's like, shut up or you'll never see your boy again. We have them like, I got to go talk to his friends, light him up. It's like, kind of, I love that we had this kind of like how we opened this season. But we have a moment where they bring him out, where he was talking about bringing Kate out, and he yelled for Alex. We know this.
Yeah.
Alex is like, I don't want to do it. And we know that Alex is this young girl, which we've now figured out is Rousseau's daughter.
Yes. Yep.
She is kind of this good but still working with them type of person. And so she's like, please do it for me. I don't want to do it. And he's like, fine, I guess I'll take the stupid girl out that couldn't listen. But while he does that, we have her going, hey, is Claire okay? Because we know that she helped her get out. Did she have a baby? Was it a boy or a girl? She's so intrigued, right? You have to remember this is like a 16-year-old girl. And she's like, what's the baby's name? And he's like, what? What is happening? How do you know this? But we do kind of see this connection and what could like be a potential in for him, maybe. You know what I mean? Like, we don't know where we can go with this. So Jake, walk us through, because it's always fun to see this connection with Alex, because we don't really get much, and we know that it's such a key part, especially for Rousseau's story. Mm-hmm. But also walk us through Michael, like in this plan that he has set forth for everyone, because again, we kind of laughed this off when we were watching. It's like, Hurley? We're taking Hurley? Like, yeah. Okay, walk us through this one.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy to think about, like, these are the people he wants to take. Like, Hurley's the one you definitely don't get, because it should be Saeed, but just obviously we find out later why. But it is very, very interesting. At first, I'm like, what is Michael wanting to do this for? Like, or I guess why he wants these certain people. I mean, and then yeah, the moment that led to light him up. Like, we obviously back then I didn't even know like it was her. Rousseau's daughter. I thought it was a boy. I thought it was her son, but the fact that it's her daughter is now we get to like see that more is pretty cool. And I am wondering how she kind of factors in more to the story, because there's definitely more to say here with her. Yeah. And then I did want to bring up the Echo and Michael interaction. Like, Michael's there cleaning up his own mess, his blood, like the blood he caused. And I definitely thought Echo definitely knew some things. Like, I don't know, like, I feel like next to Saeed, Echo's like the next most intuitive character. Like, he just seems to know everything that happens, or figures it out. And it just, it's really interesting. Clearly Echo must not know something, but like, I don't know. It's just interesting to think about, because like how Lost is able, like the writers are able to write like the dialogue that is so relevant to what is actually going on in the situation is really good. Like, it's really interesting.
And there's like, I always bring it up, there's so many parallels between Echo and Locke, and that's something Locke's done like so many times, where characters will be having a conversation and Locke will come in and tell a story that's seemingly you know, not related, but it fits perfectly with what's going on in that situation. And Echo comes in and does the exact same thing here. And yeah, the line that the only reason he was sorry is because he was scared that the dog would be waiting for him in hell is such a fantastic line. And the look on Michael's face is unbelievable. I love that scene so much. And yeah, it literally, the fact that it cuts to Michael running outside and throwing up. I don't know what Echo was doing in this moment, but again, if we're looking for red flags of signs of guilt, maybe that should have been one. Also, like, I'm sorry, I love Charlie. I do. I know it doesn't sound like I do sometimes on this podcast, but, and I don't want to sound like an anti-vaxxer, but we don't know what the fuck this thing is. Mm-hmm. What is it a vaccine for? You're just going to give it to your baby? I wouldn't have taken that shit. Like,
yeah, we don't even know. Yeah. And it was nice to see Charlie trying to talk to Claire again. I don't know, like, if that relationship can come back into play eventually, it'd be nice to see again, because they got along so well before Charlie took the baby. But like, I don't know, like, I'd love to see them back together if that can get figured out and ironed out. Yeah, it's nice to see characters back interacting that we haven't seen interact in a while.
Yeah. No, I love the relationship. That is why I'm so hard on Claire a lot of the time. But again, like, being a mom, like, yes, like, I'm not doing any of this. I'm doing exactly what Claire is doing. But I just love, because Charlie was there. He was there from the beginning. Nobody wanted to be around her. You know what I mean? So that's why I give her such shit, is like the one moment she could have stood by him, she kind of just threw it up because of Locke, like of all people, but whatever. Like, I understand completely. But like, Michael, you bring up a good point. Like, a vaccine from what? But we already know that, like, Rousseau's talked about sickness, which we had her feeling like he was sick a while ago. So I understand why she's immediately somewhat excited but questioning it, but I still probably would not be injecting myself with this like random thing. Like, also dirty needle, like all these things, like, let's not, this doesn't seem safe. This seems like infection all over it. Like, let's not get sick from the one thing we're trying to protect ourselves from, right?
Yeah, didn't they also mention like a sickness very early on in Lost with like a couple of random side characters, like Jack as being the doctor, and then you have like what was his name, Sullivan or whatever his name was, like the random guy. That hasn't shown up since that one episode, and like Jack helps him out because he has some sort of sickness, and then we haven't gotten that mention again until like middle of season 2 now. So it's like very interesting.
Aside from that sickness, we haven't seen him in a minute.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to Sullivan, but I guess they just completely disregarded who that person is. So.
Our hypochondriac.
It's interesting, like our people haven't had any issues with outside of Aaron being a bit sick at one point, which could just be babies get sick. But like the characters that have been on the island for a while, it is something that seems to be an issue. Like Desmond, the quarantine sign in the hatch, and his first concern was like, is anyone sick? Like, what's happening out there? And then we also had Rousseau obviously thinking that there was a sickness going around. So there's definitely like a worry that there's some kind of island sickness, but we've been living on this island for 60 days now, and we're all good. My last thing on this is we briefly mentioned it, but I just love the great character moments, like you said, and just how happy Jin is. Like the character growth from Jin is so crazy, and just the fact that he's like sprinting across the beach to give Michael a hug, and how far they've come. Like, again, we keep mentioning it, but it's only about like a couple of months ago that he was beating Michael bloody on the beach.
He was sprinting across the beach to go kick his ass.
Kicks the living hell out of him because he had to watch, and now he's running across the beach to hug him, and it's just, I love it.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of character growth, we're going to get right into my man Sawyer. Love him. This moment is so cute. We see that they have now gotten the guns, obviously. We have that Saeed was not allowed to come, and Sawyer, I love Sawyer. Like, that was kind of the last section, but it wasn't like, it's going to come into play more. So I skipped it. But like, Sawyer's like, I don't give a shit what Michael said. We're bringing freaking Saeed, of all people. We're bringing Saeed. But we get him back to the hatch where he's sitting there with Jack, and he's talking about Ana Lucia. He's like, I didn't even know her last name. And this is like, it's such a cute moment, but he brings it up that he's telling him this because he's the closest thing that he has to a friend. These two hate each other. You're sitting there like, these two are friends? Like, Sawyer, okay. Like, I didn't think that this was coming, but it's like such a heartfelt moment that he obviously just slept with Anna. Like, there are some emotions when you sleep with somebody, you know what I mean? And now she's dead. It's kind of like, but I love that him and Jack had the moment in the tent where he was like, what happened with you and Kate out there? And he's like, we got caught in a net. And he's thinking he means like they had sex, but they didn't. They actually got caught in a net. And then they're sitting there and he's like, Ana Lucia, we got caught in a net.
Yeah.
Like, wait, what? You didn't get caught in a net. But it's just a very cute moment because of all people, you would not think that these are the two that are like friends, right? And so it's a very huge moment for Sawyer being from where he came from, and we've talked about that a lot, of his character growth. With that, we get that they kind of still, Michael goes up to Saeed. Hey, buddy, you're not coming. There are so many red flags here, and Saeed immediately picks up on it. I love that Jack, Sawyer, none of them have actually picked up on it, but Saeed in like 2 seconds is like, sure, Michael, I'm not coming. Have a good day. See you later. Like, he immediately is like, I see right through your shit. And I love it. Saeed is like, he is the human lie detector. We've brought this up before. Like, it's a very quick and easy, and you see the flip in his brain of like, I've got your entire game plan already figured out. Like,
yeah.
They've been sitting there with him for a day and a half now with these bodies, and they still can't figure this out. And Saeed in 2 seconds is like, "Have a good day, Michael. I'm going to tell everybody that you're like compromised. Like, this is not going to happen." And it's kind of this moment of Sawyer now informing Michael of the plan that Michael already had. Like, here you go. Here's your gun. We're all going to go after this, the next day. And Hurley is like, I'm good. It's not happening. Like, it's not for me. I'm grieving of my woman. I'm not walking across an entire island. I'm with Hurley. I'm not walking across an island. I'm not doing this. I'm not going to see others. Not my plan. Not my thing. But then we get to I guess it's the flashback of our episode. But we get him to where now they've knocked him out after that fire incident, to him walking, and they're like, "Well, we're here. You don't have to walk anymore." And it's the rock that we heard, or that we saw, that Walt had typed. We aren't actually sure if this is Walt or not. And we don't get any answers to that this episode, but we do get him to this rock. He's looking around this village. We see these people. We see a new hatch potentially, but everything that basically he had described to Jack, they're worse off than us. They're barefoot. Like, I only saw a couple people guarding a door. So he is pretty accurate in what he did explain. He was captured by them in that moment, not he was spying on them. And we get this moment of them taking blood. Like, what are we doing here? Like, why are we... Also, I made the joke when we were watching it, but the bedside manner that this dude has, very similar to Jack. It's exactly who Jack is. But we do get a new character, Miss Clue. And she comes in with some questions. Are you Walt's biological son? Has he ever appeared in places he wasn't supposed to appear? So Jake, walk us through, because that's kind of the bigger part of this.
Yeah.
Is this Miss Clue? Who is she? Why is she asking these questions? What's going on? But also, like, the stuff on the island too.
Yeah, well, she's Miss Clue. She's a clue to what's going on. So I don't know. I was like, okay, this is funny that they literally named a character Miss Clue. But I was wondering if we had seen her in like the background or something of like the Claire episode or whatever, and I couldn't remember. But just the whole thing of like, okay, is this the person who's like maybe a little higher up, or like it was just very interesting, or is her role doing this kind of interrogation manipulation type of thing? From what we gather from this episode, I feel like that might be more of her role, because there's probably someone else who, for all we know, Henry Gale could be the one that's actually in charge. I don't know. But yeah, and then the stuff back on the beach, can completely get why Hurley is feeling the way he is, of not going, because dude just like professed his love for Libby, and then all of a sudden she winds up dead because he forgot the blankets. Unfortunately, like, it's just can completely get why he needs some freaking time. And then the Sawyer moment, like obviously you had like him telling Jack about meeting his dad in season 1, so like that's the moment that we've seen before this that would make sense to fit in when we have him telling Jack about him being his only friend or closest friend. Like, that's again incredible character growth, because I think the last Sawyer episode, I wasn't sure if the character growth had been completely real, and I guess it was to keep us guessing, and then all of a sudden we can see again like these moments where Sawyer is being genuine seemingly, and I like that. And yeah, just a lot going on. I'm sure we're about to get to like the Walt stuff, but very, very interesting, very a lot of emotions. Oh, and then the Saeed stuff. Yes, Saeed is... I knew immediately that Saeed caught on to what was going on.
Yeah.
You didn't even need to say anything. It's like you could just see Saeed's face without saying a single word, and he just knows. He just always knows. It's so funny. You just can't lie to the man.
Right.
It's kind of nice growth and kind of sweet, the whole Sawyer thing. It's also kind of really sad. Like that his closest friend is this guy that I don't think Jack particularly gives a shit about him, really. It's like they're two people who live on an island, but they've been at each other's throats more than anything. And the fact that this is who Sawyer considers his closest friend is kind of a, shows the kind of person he is. He doesn't really make connections very well, especially on the island. Little Kate moment I really like as well. When they're literally digging the graves and Michael's using it as a excuse to try and get Hurley mad and be like, they killed her, we're gonna, you got to come out and do this, because he wants Hurley to join them. And Kate's like Michael, come on. It's like she really has Hurley's back in that moment, and I like that from Kate. Have you watched Breaking Bad, Jake?
No, I've heard of it. I know Bryan Cranston, Giancarlo Esposito. Like, I know they're in it.
New show.
But
I've heard of it. We've all heard of it. It's Breaking Bad.
like I've seen like clips and stuff, but like I haven't like sat down and watched the show. But I don't know. Maybe it's something next year we can do when Lost is over. I don't know. So
very good. Well, it's not going to matter. But the guy that plays Pickett, the guy that was paying and takes Michael's blood, as I can't remember his character's name, but he plays a Nazi in Breaking Bad season 5. And he looks so different in Breaking Bad that it took me so many rewatches to be like, holy shit, that's him. But you haven't seen it, so. But the people who have will know. And you mentioned Miss Clue. It's one of the most ridiculous names they've come up with on the show. Like, it's very on the nose, and I think they probably realized it was on the nose because they tried to be a little bit clever, so they spelled it Klugh. It's like, we're going to call her Miss Clue, but we'll spell it differently.
Spell it different. I know, it drives me nuts.
That's such a weird spelling.
Right.
Miss Clue.
Yeah. No. But also, like, to bring in this new character, I mean, we're also getting this, like, random, like, she's talking about Walt, like, and you notice that, like, she's bringing up, like, are you his biological father? When did he start walking? Has he ever appeared in places he wasn't supposed to? And Michael's like, what? What are we talking about here? I just want my kid. Like, why are you asking me these questions? But even she doubles down on this, like, has he appeared in place? Like, have you ever seen him? You mentioned that you weren't around, but, like, have you ever seen him? And we know that he's been he appeared to Shannon, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, it's these questions of like, why is this important though? We know it's obviously important because we have seen it on the island and now she's bringing it up. But why is this important? And why do they need to know this? And how would they know this? You know what I mean? So a lot of questions that we're somewhat going to get answered, but not really get answered because we're going to get Walt here in this next section. But it's an interesting kind of situation that we get into. We go to this random camp and now this woman's questioning him about Walt. It's just, I don't know. I felt kind of out of place for me a little bit in this. Like, I know that we're kind of trying to build up of why Michael, you know, like him coming back, but I felt like maybe that section of him over there could have been like, let's skip a couple of these moments and on back over where we're at, because I just felt this was rushed. And I feel like we needed a little bit more.
Well, I like that it kind of shows a bit of the others. We're still so unsure about who these people are, and they seem to know a lot, and they know our people. I like that they seem a bit like concerned and curious about Walt. Like, what can this kid do? Who is this kid? It's like they seemingly don't know what's going on with him either.
Yeah, right. It's just so odd. And like, I mean, we've had kind of the question of Walt having special powers of some kind. And I guess if that's the case, I mean, it would explain him appearing to Shannon and stuff like earlier in the show. But I guess for the purpose of trying to lead them to him or something, like it is interesting. And I do find it interesting that he hasn't done that more, but obviously he's been in captivity, so he's probably used it sparingly. I don't know. Like, I'm thinking that Walt has been trying to get them to come find him, and just hasn't been able to do that very much. I think there's some supernatural crazy stuff going on. Obviously, we've already seen this in the show, and that's what it's about. But
Whether it's something he can control or he's like even aware of,
Right.
it could just be like he doesn't know what he's doing or how he's doing
and we
it.
also know that Brian, like, I hate to bring up Brian and Susan both in the same episode, but I mean, we know that Brian also brought this up to Michael when he was basically like, come get your kid because I don't want him. But he was like, he's weird. Like, he brought this up to him. He's like, he's a weird kid. And so we kind of already knew that, but like didn't know the extent. And now we have Miss Clue asking, like, when did he learn how to walk? Like, that's such a random question of like, wait, like, did he walk at like 2 months old? Like, what does this matter? Like, what's happening? So it's
He
very
just walked out of Susan.
Right, he walked out. Yeah, no, I wish we all could have walked out on Susan. But yeah, no, it's just we've seen this with Shannon. We know that even before that, Brian had mentioned it. So, and we know that with the bird too, even when Susan was getting sick, like with the bird coming in. So we know that there is something with Walt. We just don't know what it is yet.
Right.
Moving quite along here. I'm bringing up my other favorite besides Sawyer, Vincent. He has got Charlie on lock. He's like, let me bring you your heroin. He's like, here you go. I know that Locke was an asshole. Let me bring this to you. But I love that Charlie's like, are you freaking kidding me? We know earlier, another kind of smaller thing that I didn't bring up, but we know that he came in because Echo has now taken over Locke's job because Locke is not doing the hatch anymore. But he goes, you don't call, you don't write. Like, we were supposed to build a church. But Echo is basically like, you're on your own. And so we see Charlie trying to still build this church. And this is where Vincent's like, how about some heroin? That will help you build this thing faster. But we do see a moment where he follows Vincent back to the stash of Sawyer for all of the heroin. But we see this moment of him giving it back to the ocean, tossing it in. The fact that we have to cut over to Locke and he's sitting there with this like grin on his face, like, yeah, that was all me. No, it's not. Sit down. Just no. That's why I had the look, because that's the annoying part is he like sits there and act like, oh, that was all me. No, this was Charlie's decision. Charlie's the one who threw it in there. Yes.
You didn't say a word. You're just making that up. He was proud of him. He was just looking at him. He was proud of him.
It was his face. His face was not proud. His face was, I did that.
We are projecting so much on John Law. We are influencing poor Jake's first time viewing.
No, I'm not.
He was just sad. He was just sad, and he was proud of Charlie for getting rid of the drugs.
It was
a nice moment.
I am not like Kevin. I won't keep harping on it, but yes, when they cut over to Locke, I hate that part just because I think that's him being stupid. Anyway,
moving on. It's a cool little callback to the Moss, like with him getting rid of the drugs again.
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, him actually fully throwing them in the ocean, and yeah, I mean, I'm fine at this point. I hope they kind of just don't come back to that plot line again, because it's like we've been through it now a couple times. Like, Charlie doesn't need to have this thing where he potentially relapses into his drug abuse, and I don't need to see it again. So I really hope the writers don't harp on it anymore.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like take the nice moment and move on.
Yeah, for sure. We do see that obviously Jack sees Echo now on the hatch. He questions him, where have you been? You're supposed to come right back. He's like, didn't find anything. Leave me alone. I'm pushing the button, but obviously Jack wants to know what happened, but they weren't on the mission to find Henry as they thought they were going to do, or Jack's under the impression they had a whole nother plan, and he's not bringing this up right now. He needs to like sit with it on, and I like that he instantly kind of just shuts Jack down. And Jack just knows not to like keep going where he would with other people. So I love that about Echo, that he, for everybody, Michael, we've seen it with time and time again with these people that they know not to press Echo, which for good reason. The man's intimidating. We brought up that Michael is with Miss Clue here, but now Miss Clue, he's questioning her. When are you going to kill me? When are you going to do this? Like, you've been questioning me for a week. I don't have the answer to these questions. And she said, well, funny you should ask. There's been a development. You guys have captured one of our people. We kind of need them back. And, you can maybe have Walt back. And he's like, I don't even think he's alive. And she's like, yeah, he's right outside. He's like, no, he's not. I'm over your guys' crap. She's like, fine. You can have 3 minutes, which didn't turn into 3 minutes. But they bring Walt in, and kind of this like weird standoff at first of like, Walt not knowing what to say, right? Like, what can I say? But I need my dad to know this is serious. But
Yeah.
I'm happy to see my dad, but I'm terrified. Like, what do I like? Lots of emotions happening as soon as he brings it. Like, he hasn't seen his dad in quite some time, and same for Michael. But he brings up almost immediately, they make me take tests. And Miss Clue shuts it down. We're not talking about that. It's like, wait, can we come back to that? But Walt, are you okay?
Yeah,
like,
can we talk about that?
like, we need to come back to that. But he also says they're not who they say they are. And Michael's like, what do you mean? And he's like, Dad. And so she's like, I'm done. Like, I gave you a chance. You done ruined it twice. Take him out. And he breaks free and goes to, he like runs up to his dad. His dad can't even hug him back. It's just like so heartbreaking. But this emotion, and we talked about it on Adrift when he wakes up and is just like realizing his son is gone. He's about to lose him again. Like this just, oh my gosh, the heart-wrenching moments of this, of Walt, please Dad, save me, come rescue me, like all these things. Oh my gosh, as a parent, like, oh, now you've just lit a fire under my ass and I'm going to kick your ass after this. Like, I'm so mad.
Is this the first time that Walt says he loves him as well? Because as he's being pulled away, he says, I love you, Dad. And I don't know if we've seen that. Maybe we did on the raft, but it certainly was like a punch where it's like, man, how far they've come.
Yeah. Well, I think when like the whole burning of the raft happened and like when he finally realized his dad was a good person.
I thought, yeah.
I love you in there, but no. Yeah, it's, man, yeah, this emotion of like, leave poor Michael and Walt alone. Like, I can't take much more of this. This like up and down, like father-son moment. But they do drag him away, and Michael is just overcome with grief again. Like, this poor guy, like, he lost his kid, he got his kid back, he lost his kid, he got his kid back. Like, there are just, like, this is so unfair. This is so unfair to him, to keep, like, dangling the son and then not having it. It's a gut punch every time. But she does say, you're going to do this for us, and you are going to bring us these names. You're going to bring us only these names, or you will never see Walt again. And I mean, the manipulation tactic, like bring like Walt there for him and then to take him away and say, this is what's happening. But Michael in that moment goes, I'm going to one up you. Sure, I'm going to do this for you. And I am going to get my son back, but you're going to give me your boat. And it's like, okay, Michael, didn't expect that one from you. Like, good for you to like one up them. This is good. I'm going to stop here just for a second because there's a lot that happened in this moment before I get to the ending here. Jake, kick us off on kind of what your thoughts are. Again, we're getting some things that are happening like present day. It's more so what's happening elsewhere. So talk about where you want to, like present day, but walk me through your thoughts on this Miss Clue and Walt's situation.
Yeah, I mean, again, this emotional manipulation of just like bringing Walt here to really seal the deal with Michael to get him to do what she wants, what they want. Yeah, I mean, she does an excellent job, although not as excellent because then Walt almost spoils everything. So, which I was excited to kind of hopefully learn a little more, but obviously, like, we knew they were already pretending because we saw like the fake beard glue and all this other stuff. So we've known that for like, 8 episodes or something. But yeah, just like, it was interesting to finally get a follow-up on what Michael was burning and like, oh, okay, it's this list. And that's why he's been wanting these specific people and hasn't been wanting Saeed to come with him. And so, that I found really intriguing. And again, it was good to see like, okay, Walt's okay, but like we know where he is now. That we spent the entire season hoping that they can get him back. And yeah, I mean, it's interesting too, because like then mentioning the boat, and we're obviously going to get to the ending soon, so I'll wait on that. But, obviously that's interesting that they bring it up and then we're going to immediately see something like that. So, I'm interested to see what happens now, to close out season 2, because we're 2 episodes away from, or 2 episode finale. So like, I'm very interested to see how this plays out.
Yeah, this was the lead into our finale. I'm so excited. We've been waiting for so long for this. I'm so excited. I have a question for you, Jake, as well, because I think the majority of this episode we focus on Michael trying to get these names to come with him. But the other side of that is, why do the others want these specific people? The others want Jack, they want Kate, they want Hurley, and they want Sawyer. Nobody else. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, it can't be purity because that's not, these characters are not the purest people. I mean, Kate's a convict. Jack has poor bedside manner. Sawyer's also like a convict and has done some not so good things. And then, I mean, Hurley's lovable, but
Hurley's pretty pure.
Yeah, Hurley's pure, but like compared to everybody else, like I don't know. It is interesting. So I don't know why they want these specific people other than, okay, these are kind of like our big names that we're following, give or take, with John Locke and like, you know, a few others, obviously, but and you know, I feel like everybody else is kind of just like they get episodes here and there. I would guess I would put obviously Saeed and Charlie in that as well, main character, but like Claire does not get that much, and there's a few other characters there. Echo's gotten a little bit more, but obviously he just came in this season, so I don't know. There's a lot I'm thinking of why this could happen, but I don't have a solid prediction right now.
Yeah, I remember finding that really fascinating of like, why do they want them? And Hurley being the really confusing one of like, Hurley's the standout one where it's like, why do they want Hurley of all people? Like, it's interesting that's those four. And it would have been so much easier if they just said Saeed. Like, Michael could have got Saeed, Jack, Sawyer, and Kate to come with him so easily. It's trying to get Hurley to come, which makes no sense whatsoever. Yeah, the Michael Walt moments are just amazing. And also, it's like, at this point, Michael hasn't done anything wrong. Like, we're watching it with knowledge of what he goes on to do, but like that moment between Michael and Walt there, Michael has done nothing wrong, and it's heartbreaking. Like, if you can try and detach yourself from what we know, it's such a sad moment, and yeah, he sells it so well. And one last thing, that great little line from Echo, I just love when Jack's like trying to get him to come to the funeral. He's like, I grieve in my own way. It's like, I don't need to go to your funeral. I'm doing my thing in the hatch. I will grieve Anna and Libby in my own way. I just love him so much. He's so good.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, also another main point too is that when when Miss Clue like shows him the list, he asks, "Who's James Ford?" They're not even saying Sawyer. They're saying James Ford.
Yeah.
And it's another, like, because Michael doesn't even know that at this point. Like, nobody really knows this.
I think
and
just Kate, right? Kate and Hurley.
Locke knows it too, I think.
Locke.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, but they're not even saying Sawyer. Like, it's interesting to me that she wrote that down. They know that he wouldn't know this, so it's interesting that she wrote James Ford. So I don't know. Like, I know when I watched it, I was like, why didn't they just say Sawyer? Like, why did they have to write that down? So that was another question I had, like, watching this for the first time. Is like, that was an interesting. Not only is it interesting to have Hurley in there, but like, why did they write James Ford instead of Sawyer? So lots of fun things, but also, yeah, this is the moment where, for me, watching it for the first time, it all tied in. I was like, oh, that's the thing he was burning. Makes so much more sense now. I didn't care about that 40 minutes ago. Like, I didn't even think about it. So yeah, no, it's definitely like one of those, like, when you're watching this for the first time, it's like that full circle moment of like, oh, okay, got it. Thank you. Like, you know, but yeah, no, again, as a parent, like, I would do anything for my kids. Like I mentioned, like I would hate to kill for my kids, but I would, you know what I mean? So this was before we could hate Michael, to see this again. And like I brought up time and time again, he's had this kid loses the kid, has the kid, loses the kid. So it just is, it's so just, I don't know, like there's no words for it to really put into like how sad this really is, because it's mean. It's mean. It's horrible. But yeah.
You can tell that's the moment that Michael decides, like, yeah, he's completely broken. He is going to do absolutely anything he has to do at that point.
For sure. Yeah, no, for sure. Anything else on this section before I move on to the ending here? All right. So We do get to our funeral. Everybody is gathering. We see this. We see that Locke is deciding to attend yet not another funeral because I guess him and funerals are not a good thing. But we do see that his leg is now quote unquote fine. He cuts the brace off and walks off. But we see Jack and Saeed walking up to the funeral. And this is where Saeed goes, I think Michael's been compromised, and Jack wants to stop. But he's like, "Keep walking, Jack. Keep walking. We're not doing this. We need to have this on because he wants." And again, here's the Jack. Well, let's go talk to him. Let's go approach him. And he's like, "No. We need to have an advantage. You're gonna let him think that he has got this whole thing." He's like, "Okay, what's your plan?" He's like, "I don't know yet." I do love that moment of Saeed, like, "I don't know, but I am gonna come up with something, but I do not know yet." But it's also is like again, like we know, like Saeed the second that he even like walked up to him, he was screwed. But yeah, Saeed immediately caught on to that, and now he's formulating a plan to give them the advantage. That Michael, they know that he's compromised, but he doesn't know that. With that, we get this very sad and tragic funeral. Jack says a few words for Ana Lucia, but also, again, can we just take the moment of Sawyer, like, just standing there, obviously so distraught by it. Like, he barely knew Ana Lucia, but again, the emotions of, like, having a sexual relationship with I can't talk sexual relationship with somebody and then they died. Like they didn't even get a chance to talk about it. Like it's just, I mean, but also the guilt that he's feeling. She lifted the gun, but now you know what I mean. All these things, like he's feeling some guilt too. And that I just like that they had him standing there. Even Kate looks over at him like, "Bro, are you okay? Like, why are you so distraught over Ana Lucia?" But yeah, Jack mentions a couple words for Ana Lucia. But then we get the really heartbreakingness of it all, of Hurley talking for Libby. He can barely get it out. I do love that they threw in a little bit of humor in this like very sad moment where he can't actually remember what she does, but he brings up, she must have helped a lot of people, and she helped me. Oh my God, Hurley, you're killing me. But he turns to Michael and says, "I'm going with you. I'm going to go with you." And music to Michael's ears. He's like, "Oh, thank God." But can you imagine standing at this like funeral and Hurley just turns around and says, "I'm going with you." And they're like, "Going where? What are you doing?" Like all these other people are like, "Right. Where are we going?" We do see that Claire does grab Charlie's hand at this funeral. It seems like they are on the mend of their relationship again. Hopefully that continues. And as we get this beautiful, like, musical, like, sad, somber moment, Sun looks out and she goes, "Boat." Well, why is there a boat? We have a boat now. Is this a rescue? Is this the boat that Michael's talking about? What is that? What is this boat? Cliffhanger, of course, because the Lost title card comes up. We have to wait till the next episode for this. But Jake, walk me through your thoughts here. I mean, obviously the funeral is very sad and stuff, but we're mostly going to be focused here on this boat because this is our cliffhanger. But also, I want to hear what your thoughts are. What do you think Saeed's plan should be if you can figure out his plan? But walk me through this boat.
So yeah, I think Saeed is completely right here. I think Saeed knows exactly what they're going to do. I guess we'll have to see, but I think Saeed is gonna be the reason, I guess, that they kind of maybe succeed in getting Walt back, because I feel like we're gonna kind of wrap up that storyline for the season. Now, whether or not it leads to another character dying is we'll have to see, because I think it could lead to another loss, because nothing is without consequence, and so I can totally see that happening to conclude the season. But the big thing is the boat, and Michael had it mentioned to him, like I said, that they would send a boat, and I feel like it's them sending that over to kind of keep to their word. I guess maybe it's a little bit, I don't know, like I'm trying to figure out if it's like something more enticing, like they're sticking to their word, but they're already about to leave to go do that. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure why the boat is here now, because I mean, I don't know. It's just like, and it's not like the same boat that we saw at the end when they're in Drift, and so it's a completely different. It's a sailboat, as opposed to like one of those little low deck boats that the others had. So Yeah, I'm very intrigued what this boat is there for.
Yeah, I'm so glad you brought that up, because that was the most intriguing thing to me as well. Of like, this isn't the boat we've seen. This is something completely different, and why is it here? And who's on it? Yeah, it's just a nice little sting to take us into the finale. And yeah, like Saeed, I feel so confident and comfortable whenever Saeed's involved in something that we're going to be okay. Like, yeah, if Saeed's going to have a plan, I'm sure things will work out peachy.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe. No, the thing about it too is like, I like that he comes in there so confident, right? Of like telling Jack, and then Jack's like, okay, well, what's the plan? And then he goes, I don't know. I love that he was like, I don't know. But it is one of those things that you're like, okay, I don't need to know this right now because I have confidence in you, because he is the only one that has figured this out. Even Jack questions and he's like, you think? Like, you're sure? And he's like, he's not acting like somebody would be acting. And so like, because even Jack questions it, like, I didn't pick up on this. And Saeed's like, I love that he also mic dropped him. He's like, I also thought that Henry was one of the others. You know what I mean? Like, he also
you should listen to me, Jack. Yeah.
Right. Like, I also mic dropped you on this moment. But yeah, this boat situation, I remember watching this for the first time and I'm like, is this a rescue? Like, it seems quite small to be a rescue, but like, why is there a boat here? Like, they did, Michael did just mention a boat. Like, Jake, you brought up, did they send the boat over? And they sent the boat over early. That's how's Michael going to figure out a way out of this one to explain why there's a boat? Yeah, lots of questions leading into the finale. So can't wait to get there. I'm so excited for the finale. So anyway, that is the 3 minutes. So least favorite character rankings.
Oh boy. Favorite, I'm going with Saeed just because he was able to just immediately pick up on what was going on and formulate a plan. I have to go with Saeed because I feel like he's definitely the smartest character of the episode. Least favorite, I mean, the Michael and Walt situation is at least something, and if we didn't know what we knew Michael would do, like, I think that would have been it still was emotional, but I feel like it definitely would have had more like, oh, we feel so bad for Michael, even more bad. So I think for least favorite, I'll go with Miss Clue because her name is spelled weird and she's obviously emotionally manipulative, and so yeah, I think I have to go with her.
I'm going to shout out for my favorite character of the episode too, Michael. It's difficult to give it to him, but I do think it's a really well-written and well-performed episode after what just happened, to make you remotely sympathetic with him. Like, that's not easy, and they pulled that off really well, and I think he deserves credit for that. But yeah, Saeed's a character that, like, he's really prominent, and then he goes away for a little bit, and then he comes back in. Like, whenever Saeed is like around, he's just amazing, and this is like everything that we love about Saeed, the human lie detector, as we've christened him. He just knew straight away, and he's so good. I love Saeed, and this was, I have to make him my favorite just for that. Least favorite, yeah, I mean, Miss Clue wasn't great. Oh, I'll go for other peeing on tree. One of the two.
Random peer. I'm going to give a shout out to Vincent because I think that was hilarious that he like dangled the drugs in front of the drug addict. He's such a I can envision Vincent being a human and being like kind of another sarcastic smartass to be like, hey, here's your Virgin Mary statue. Like, what you gonna do with it? Also bringing it to the fact that like the church site, like, too. I just think that moment was hilarious. So shout out Vincent. But I am giving it to my man Sawyer. Again, like, I have to. He's had such character growth here. For him to talk to Jack, like, they hate each other, but he's like, you're literally the closest thing I have to a friend. I just think that there are some really beautiful moments with Sawyer, and I know that I do give Sawyer a lot of credit sometimes, but I do think that was a beautiful moment from him. And seeing the remorse that he has and the guilt that maybe he has for Ana Lucia and why she had the gun in the first place. Least favorite character, of course, Miss Clue. Oh my God, I hate you already. Just like, I don't need to see you anymore. Go away. Like, ugh. Go away.
Yeah. All right, well, let's get to episode rankings. Let's rank 3 minutes.
We have Lockdown, Orientation, The Other 48 Days, Man of Science, Man of Faith, The Long Con, The 23rd Psalm, The Hunting Party, Dave, Maternity Leave, The Whole Truth, One of Them, Question Mark, Adrift, SOS, Collision, What Kate Did, Abandoned, Everybody Hates Hugo, and Found, and Fire and Water.
Just hearing... Yeah, just hearing those out, I feel like it might be below Question Mark, but above Adrift. I think that's a good place for it. I don't think it's quite top 10, but there's some really good stuff in here. And again, I do love the episodes that show what happened. It's just, I think, like, if hearing those out, you read like the top 10 and what's close to the top 10. I just think, I think there was more intrigue in Question Mark a little bit, but I think this is better than Adrift.
I 100% agree with you, Jake. I was debating when Michael was reading those out of whether I'd put it above or below Adrift. Because, I mean, we said this with season 1 too. This episode right before the finale is our like lead in, right? So it's kind of like this. I mean, when we bring up that fun fact of it being like the most least rated of season 2, I mean, I wouldn't put it there, but I can understand people like leading into like, I don't know. I mean, I guess we're gonna watch it because we know we need to know the information. But I do like it answers some questions. It gave us where Michael was at, why he's doing the things that he's doing. So I agree with you. I would put it above Adrift because it gives us a little bit, but I would be fine putting it below Adrift too. So
I was a little bit higher. I really like this one. I was very surprised when you mentioned that it was rated low. Like I think this is a really solid episode. I was looking at like around the Dave level, like maybe just below Maternity Leave, just below Dave, somewhere around there. But yeah, somewhere in that middle ground, I don't mind.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's.
I can go above Question Mark or whatever you said.
Below Question Mark, above Adrift.
Below Question Mark.
Yeah. Cool. All right. That is episode 22. We're almost done with season 2 here. We'll have our finale starting next week. And then we'll have our season 2 Brant steals. So we'll see who else gets added into season 2, who returns from season 1. I mean, all of us will be back. So we'll see how season 1 plays into the next season as well, if that does play a factor. But with that, yeah, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, so you can see what happens, discuss with us, spoiler free, of course, for me. But I'll let you guys get to your spoiler section for this episode, and we'll see you all next time for more Lost on the Tribe of Nerds.
I love you, Sawyer. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Tribe of Nerds after Jake, the spoiler section of Lost, where we spoil everything for the entire series. So if you've not seen it, get out. Get out now. This is your time to go. But like, comment, subscribe. But if you're going to comment, make sure you like put spoiler alert and then like 500 things so that it makes Jake see more. So with that, this should have been your time. Get out. Last chance. Get out. All right. We're spoiling stuff. All right. Michael, kick us off.
I mean, this is leading us straight into our finale. I just thought of another one as well. The boat. We've got Desmond's on that boat. He's been just out in the ocean drinking scotch and having a good old time, and he's circled around the island a few times and found his way back. Yeah, I can't wait to get Desmond back. This is exciting now because like once we get Desmond back, we just have Desmond. Like he disappears all of season 2, and now he's going to be like with us for the rest of the show. So that's good.
Well, and he's going to be the reason why we don't have a hatch. Well, not the reason why he fixes it, but we don't have a hatch anymore because he has the failsafe key. So we're going to lose the hatch too. So crazy.
Yeah, kind of like the hatch is really good in season 2, but I'm glad it's just a season 2 story and then we move on from it.
Yeah.
I did like Jake said how he wants us to be done with like Charlie's heroin problems now, and I don't think it ever does come up again, right? Like he's just kind of done with that.
Yeah, I think
he's gonna find out he's dying pretty soon.
Yeah. Oh God, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. But no, I think that is the ending of like, in a good ending. Like he threw it away. It's time to be done with it. We don't care to talk about it anymore. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's a good storyline. I mean, we see that Claire is holding his hand. This is this is them getting back together, but even more so because they are actually going to become kind of a couple here, which then of course he dies, which is just so tragic.
It's crazy how brief that is. Like they're kind of cute in season 1, and then we don't really know how much of Claire's memories of season 1 come back. We know she remembers what happened now when she was with Ethan, but like she lost all of her memories. So I don't know if she has that many memories of Charlie before he went crazy. So it's only really season 3 where we get them as like in each other's good books, and yeah, it's short lived.
Well, and I hate that like they're planning like getting off the island, and he's like, "You can come live with me." It's like, oh god, it's so sad.
Not gonna happen.
Not gonna happen.
Claire will go crazy. It's gonna be a whole mess.
It's gonna be whole thing.
The other thing we have from this episode is obviously the 4 people that Michael has been told to get that the others want. Is Hurley the one that stands out as weird is because Hurley is just the messenger. He's going to be cut loose and sent back, but they need Jack because Jack needs to perform surgery on Ben, and Kate and Sawyer are essentially the gun to the head to make sure that he does it. It's like, I love how that all comes together.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting too because they do know so much about our cast because like they brought Kate along because they know that Kate can convince Jack, but like, well, who's going to convince Kate? And Sawyer's her kind of thorn in her side, so that's where they bring all of them in. And Sawyer, like, he's going to do everything for Kate. So those two are always going to, do things for each other. So it's, and we're going to get that.
Funny.
Kate's going to have a gun to her head. He's going to have a gun to his head. Like, vice versa this entire, like, season 3.
Yeah. And I hadn't even thought until just now when we've been discussing this episode. It's also really funny that we get Sawyer saying that Jack's like the closest thing he has to a friend. So there's even that connection going on between Jack and Sawyer that maybe they're unaware of. But Sawyer does actually care for Jack in some way. And I'm sure Jack does on some level. But like the Sawyer-Jack relationship is one that I'm so excited to talk about for the next few seasons. Like right up to their farewell on the cliff. It's like, it's such a good journey. It's crazy how far they come.
Most definitely. I know. Gosh, I just, especially because that was so recent for me, that like farewell on the cliff. Good God, it's so like, ugh. It's like,
thank you, Doc, for everything.
Yeah, it brings you back to that moment of him telling him that he met his dad too, like of that like gut punch, So yeah, yeah. Anyway, also like those are the 4 too that I think Kevin mentioned this last time that survived the submarine. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy. Also, kind of ruins it because Frank Lapidus also survives, but we don't worry about Frank Lapidus.
Frank, good old Frank. I love Frank though. I mean, he's the one Frank. He helps him out quite extensively. This little group here, so good for Frank. Also, I mean, we do see with Michael that this boat. This is not the boat. He's going to get a different boat, and Walt's going to be on it, and they are going to, we've mentioned that before, but this is where we are leading up to this. This is kind of the big reveal. Jake did mention that he was like, who knows if Henry could be the leader. I mean, we know that he's going to walk up and be the blind side that none of us saw coming, except for apparently Jake. So, with that, I mean, that's this season, the finale. Like I said, they're all strong, but like this one's so good because it's like, why do you need them? Where are you taking them? What are you doing? So,
unless I'm misremembering, when Jake said like we might have another character loss, is this like the only season finale where nobody dies? I don't think anyone dies in this finale, right? Oh, Kelvin, I guess, in a flashback, but
in a flashback, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, we don't have any losses. Like everyone's okay.
They're gonna lead. It's gonna lead to Echo's death.
Oh, yeah.
Another one that poor
I don't want to talk about that.
I'm sorry. It's gonna be a rough one. At least I won't be dancing on his grave.
You better not. He's a fantastic character. I'm so sad we lose him.
Yeah. For sure. Anything else we need to spoil from this episode?
I think that's about it. I'm just so excited to get to the finale. It's so much good stuff in this next like 2 hours. It's gonna be so good.
I know, for sure. Very good. And that it's kind of sad. Like this episode, I mean, I don't know why people had this the least ranked because that's inaccurate. But I mean, it is sad for these episodes that are like that episode right before the finale to kind of lose a little bit on it because the steam of it all because you're so anticipating the finale, you know. So this was a very solid episode, though. I don't know why people said.
Yeah, I'm so confused by that. I couldn't believe it. It's a really good episode. Really fun.
Very good episode. All right. Well, with that, we'll be back. I mean, we're gonna have lots of spoilers for the finale, so just you wait. But yes, like, comment, subscribe, all the things, and we'll see you guys next time on the Tribe of Nerds. Bye.